Hey guys, this is Paul, and I know this is a pretty strange time in the world right now, so first off, I hope you're doing fine and staying safe. Thankfully, I'm doing okay, but one of the biggest changes for me is that I'm back home for the rest of the semester, so all of my college classes are now entirely online. So that's been an interesting change for me. It's definitely taking a little while to get used to it, and it requires a lot of self-discipline. So one of the things I've been trying to do to keep up with all my schoolwork is to treat all the online work as if I were actually in class or in a lecture. So I've been taking notes on all the lecture videos and doing most of my homework just like I would in a real lecture on my iPad. And one of the new tools I've been using is something called the Paperlike Screen Protector. If you haven't heard of Paperlike, it's a very simple product. It's a screen protector that you put on your iPad, and it basically tries to mimic what it feels like to write on paper on your iPad. That was one of my first complaints with note-taking on the iPad. There just isn't much texture to the screen. It's kind of slippery and doesn't really feel like writing in a real notebook, so when Paperlike reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to try their screen protector, it seemed like the perfect opportunity. And a quick disclaimer, Paperlike did sponsor this video, but they didn't tell me anything to say, so all of these opinions about the product are entirely my own. So I guess the big question of this entire video is, does it work? And the quick answer is yes. It definitely adds a really nice texture that makes handwriting notes on the iPad really enjoyable. It doesn't feel exactly like writing on paper, but compared to writing directly on the glass, it's so much better. So I think the best way to give you guys an idea of just exactly how this feels is to let you all actually hear the difference between writing on an iPad without a Paperlike and then writing with the Paperlike. So just give this a listen. So as you can probably hear, the Paperlike makes a big difference. One thing to keep in mind is that the matte finish on the Paperlike that gives it that texture also changes the way the entire screen looks. If you've ever used a matte screen protector before, then it'll probably be pretty familiar to you, but this was my first time using a matte protector and I noticed three main changes. First off, it's much less reflective than a normal display, which is great if you're using it outside or under a bright light. The second thing I noticed is that this protector makes the iPad much more resistant to fingerprints, which is one of my favorite, I guess you could say, side effects of using the Paperlike. It does smudge a little bit if you really try, but it's nothing compared to how smudgy the screen would be without the protector. And the last thing I noticed, and perhaps the only negative side effect of using a Paperlike, is viewing angles. So when you're viewing your iPad from extreme angles, it starts to become a little blurry. But considering this is an iPad and I'm normally just using it head on, it's not too big of an issue for me. A few more things you might be wondering about. The installation process is very easy. There's a great tutorial on the website that really walks you through it step by step, and it helped me out a lot. And there are actually 2 screen protectors included in each package. So should you somehow mess something up, you've got a backup. And if all goes well, then you have an extra one that you can give to a friend or something like that. That's about all I have to say about the Paperlike. It's a very simple product, but it can make a really big change to how you interact with your iPad. If you're a digital artist or a student who takes a lot of notes, or you just write on your iPad for any reason, then I think the Paperlike is definitely worth a shot. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are interested in purchasing a Paperlike, it'll be the first link in the description down below. If you like this video, a thumbs up is always appreciated, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.